Whoopi Goldberg is obnoxious and stupid beyond all measure. The Holocaust was not about race. Ask the Nazis. The entire Holocaust was about race.
Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea.
Have you ever watched someone be so confidently wrong? It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. Well, Whoopi Goldberg did it again on The View. And Ben Shapiro wasn't about to let it slide. He hit pause on everything and delivered. A takedown so precise, it should be framed.
You are a complete stupid idiot. My God. She is so stupid. This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust. Genius, Whoopi Goldberg.
But before we jump into the chaos, let's set the stage with Ben's life mission. Exposing bad logic, one smug statement at a time. When it comes to The View, Whoopi is basically his Super Bowl. And every time she speaks, he gets more material than he could ask for.
Folks, as you know, I love one show on TV more than any show on TV. The View. I've had a lifelong ambition to actually be a guest on The View. They'll never have me on, of course, because it would go horribly.
Let's start with the moment that shook the internet. Whoopi confidently claiming the Holocaust wasn't about race. Ben, being Jewish and allergic to historical revisionism, immediately tore it apart. And he didn't hold back one bit.
Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. It's about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
No!
He pointed out what should have been obvious. The Nazis targeted Jews as an inferior race. The idea that race wasn't involved, it's so far off base, it left even middle school history students facepalming. Ben didn't just disagree. He dismantled the entire premise.
But it's not about
ideal race.
But these are two white groups of people.
Ah! Not only is that the worst clip in the history of The View, that is the worst clip in the history of television. Like, all of television.
What made this even worse? Whoopi, who injects race into every political discussion, suddenly decided it didn't apply to one of the most racially driven genocides in human history. That's not just ignorant, it's deeply dishonest.
The Holocaust was not about race. Ask the Nazis. The entire Holocaust was about race. All of it. Which is why they didn't just pick on Jews who observed Judaism. They picked on anyone who had quote-unquote Jewish blood. The entire thing was about race.
You in danger, girl.
But you notice, I mean, what she says there is not just stupid, by the way, it's despicable. When she says the Holocaust is basically just flatten it out, it's just about man's inhumanity to man. It's like it's just like that time when you open your car door and you sort of bump the guy next to you and you leave a ding in his car, but you don't leave a note on his windshield.
Ben made it clear. Whoopi's not looking for truth. She's hunting for a narrative that fits her worldview. And when facts get in the way, she tosses them aside like yesterday's script.
It's inhumanity to man. Nope. It's about a genocidal attempt to exterminate the Jews, which has a thousands of year-old history. And yes, it was rooted in race. And yes, anti-Semitism is different. And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God, she is so stupid. This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the...
Then came another head-scratcher. Whoopi comparing the US and Israel to groups like Hamas and the Taliban. Ben's reaction? Absolute disbelief. He called it what it was, a display of world-class ignorance.
He tweeted something comparing the US, Israel, Hamas, and the Taliban as all terrorist organizations. And she has maybe way more knowledge and experience in the very complicated Middle Eastern relations. But I did find that being on a foreign committee and comparing the country to a known terror, those are organized terrorist communities, that, not Israel, but Hamas and the Taliban.
Israel, a democracy defending itself from terrorism, is not even in the same galaxy as Hamas, a group that literally puts civilians in harm's way. Whoopi's comparison was not only wrong, it was dangerously irresponsible.
Who you talk to.
Right. Well, I mean, that's how they're recognized as terrorist organizations.
But it does depend on who you talk to.
Well, they're recognized in this country.
Depends on who you talk to. Whoopi, always available to sign in.
cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
To both compare Israel and the United States to terrorist organizations and also compare terrorist organizations to apparently not terrorist organizations. Like, Hamas is not a terrorist organization? Yeah! Oh, man. It is amazing because Whoopi is sort of seen on this show as sort of the wise old sage. And I have to say, you need better.
And let's be honest, this isn't new. Whoopi has a track record of saying things that are flat out false, while pretending she's some kind of expert on politics and morality. It's a train wreck that somehow keeps getting airtime.
It's interesting that a lot of the English language has to be rethought. Blackmailing is negative, black sheep, negative. I can think of a few others if I had the time, but those words are kind of like embedded in our psyches and maybe need to be changed. Why is a black sheep a bad thing and a white sheep is a good thing? Why? They're just sheep.
Well, it's not the words. It's not the words. It's the way we think about it.
I like that Meghan McCain is like, I cannot believe I'm here right now. Meghan McCain's like, what is...
Ben's bigger point? If a conservative said half the things Whoopi has, the outrage would be deafening. But because she toes the liberal line, the media turns a blind eye and gives her a free pass every time.
Probably they started saying black sheep versus white sheep, not because of the commonality of the sheep, but because of black people in like rural Europe. Nailed it. Yeah, it's about what? African American sheep. This is so stupid. It's about black male, like black people male.
Blackmail! Thank you, Cleveland.
What in the... How many more of these are?
Let's talk abortion. Whoopi says men shouldn't weigh in, yet the same crowd insists men can get pregnant. Ben shredded this contradiction, pointing out that the logic collapses under its own weight in seconds.
Any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea. Now, I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you do.
My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
And don't even get him started on bodily autonomy. Whoopi yells, "My body, my choice," for abortion, but cheered for vaccine mandates that forced people to get injected or lose their jobs. Make it make sense.
I have a few questions many questions on this, as it turns out. First,
Transphobia!
massive transphobia. If you don't have eggs, you can't... Are you saying that some women can't be men and some men can't be women? Are you saying that unless you have eggs, you're not a woman? Is that what you're saying, Whoopi Goldberg? Also, if that is the new standard, how about women who are postmenopausal? Whoopi Goldberg? Can they have opinions on... I mean, you can't have a baby right now, I assume. How old is Whoopi Goldberg? She's in her 60s. Unless there's been some sort of miracle that...
The contradictions keep stacking. Whoopi calls America systemically racist, yet she's a millionaire with decades of fame, wealth, and success, all earned in the country she constantly bashes.
Another thing. I can have an opinion on what a fetus would think, because I was once a fetus. In fact, spoiler alert, all of us were once fetus. Every single one of us. I know, this is crazy. And you know what I can pretty well guarantee? Fetuses don't like being stabbed in the face. And
she insists America is holding people back, while living proof that it isn't. But she never stops to ask herself why her own success story doesn't match her narrative. Ben finds that more than a little ironic.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump? No. In the sense that,
In a sense.
What I mean? Like, what I'm saying, there's more jobs to be in LA. They always, they don't. Are not only the only I didn't mean it like that. Come on.
oh no.
And then there's her latest tantrum over conservative policies. She labeled them dangerous and fascist. Buzzwords she throws around whenever she's out of arguments, which, let's face it, is often.
Oh no. I love that she's trying to make an anti-Trump argument. She's like, I can say anything I want. And she's like, I'm going to say something super racist. They're all like, yeah. Well, apparently her hair was not her only bad decision that day.
Her take on crime. She said it's not actually rising. Ben responded with what you'd expect. Hard data, FBI stats, and a reminder that facts don't care about your feelings. even if you're on daytime TV.
Whoopi Goldberg, the specter of Whoopi Goldberg, saying that we have to suck it up. You know, we sucked it up when Trump won. In what way did Democrats suck it up when Trump won? We got 4 long years of you whining that Trump wasn't the actual president of the United States, not my president, the Women's March in the immediate aftermath of Trump winning. We got huge Black Lives Matter protests throughout the summer. The idea being that Trump was the font head of systemic American racism. We got the media and their collusion narrative that went on for years on end despite lack of evidence.
Voter ID laws. Whoopi called them racist. Ben clapped back with common sense. If you need ID to board a plane or buy wine, why not to vote? The answer, you do. Unless you're playing political games.
At what point did Democrats actually come to terms with the fact that Trump had won? They never came to terms. Which is why they're so celebratory now, because they think that now reality has snapped back into place.
She also claimed conservatives want to erase Black history. Ben shut that down fast, pointing out that the fight is about radical ideology in schools, not banning history books. Another false alarm, another correction.
This stuff is just, ugh. All these people who are unwilling to accept the results of election now going, you know, you guys, you gotta grow up. I'm not willing to hear that from you. I'm sorry, Whoopi Goldberg. I think you have,
To Ben, the trend is obvious. Whoopi doesn't debate, she deflects. Her toolkit is packed with emotional outrage, but not a single sharp fact. And that's exactly what keeps Shapiro on the case.
you stand on here. Here's Whoopi Goldberg.
When you know who was elected 4 years ago, you know, Hillary Clinton didn't say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, stop the count. She didn't say, this isn't right, I'm not going for it. She didn't say any of that. So all of you, suck it up. Suck it up like we sucked it.
If Ben ever appeared on The View, the hosts wouldn't know what hit them. His arguments would slice through their talking points like a hot knife through tofu. And deep down, they all know.
Ever occurred to anybody that the reason this process exists is so that when the election is over, people at least are able to point to the court cases and to the investigations and say they came up.
That's why it'll never happen. They need the echo chamber. They need applause, not opposition. And someone like Ben would turn their whole stage into a courtroom they can't win in. So after watching Whoopi deliver another masterclass in how not to think and watching Ben clean up the mess, one thing's clear. This isn't just political theater. It's an intellectual circus, and Shapiro's the only one sweeping up the nonsense. But what do you think? Was this just ignorance? Or proof that too much applause and not enough challenge turns brains to mush? Drop your take in the comments. Hit like if you're done with the double standards, and subscribe for more truth bombs that make the woke crowd squirm.